Welcome to Aslan Speaks, episode 19, Removing Toxic People. I'm going to repeat that. This episode is about removing toxic people. First, I want to say thank you to all those who subscribe to me and all those who follow my content. Even the old viewers or even the new viewers, thank you. So, I appreciate everything that I appreciate everything. So for those who subscribe and like my content, thank you. The powers to be are suppressing, the powers to be are suppressing my content. And they're suppressing my content or channel growth. I can't explain in detail because I risk my channel being taken away. So all I'm saying is I'm being suppressed. There's a certain keyword that's called that, but I can't say that keyword because if I say that keyword, the algorithm picks it up and then they mess with my channel. So just know that, powers to be are messing with me a little bit. Oh well, though, because the light always outshines the darkness. Positivity always overcomes negativity. And for those who need to hear this message, it'll reach them no matter what. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about the main message I want to share with you today. Removing toxic people out of your life. Yes, removing toxic people out of your life. This episode is not just about removing toxic people out of your life. It is also about removing other toxic things in your life that keep you from becoming your higher self. Or in other words, removing toxic things in your life that hold you back. Because there's not just toxic people. There's like addictions that are toxic for you. So there's certain like drugs and alcohol. Them are toxic for you, and I'm not placing judgment. Everybody can choose to do drugs or choose to drink alcohol. And that's their free will. But it becomes a problem when you start abusing those substances. I can't even say that word, can I? To abuse those drugs and alcohol, and they start affecting your life in a negative way, in a way where they're like, those drugs and alcohol act like shackles that chain you from becoming your higher self, and you can't reach your dreams or goals because you're too busy chasing the party lifestyle or those drugs and alcohol. In a way, those things are toxic for you and are holding you back and are keeping you in a place of low vibration or in a negative state. And your goal, and my goal is with this message or episode is to share with you, by cutting out those toxins or cutting out those toxic people in your life and removing that negativity or those negative toxins and replacing it with positivity, that your life can change. Do you want your life to change? Do you want to become your higher self? Do you want to reach enlightenment? I'm all about sharing enlightenment, and I'm all about helping those awaken or helping those become their better version of themselves. So that's what I do. I try to help share wisdom and knowledge, and try to help you guys. So why is it important to remove toxic people out of your life? Because sometimes toxic people hold you back in life. I like to repeat myself because sometimes people don't get the message until you repeat it. Sometimes toxic people keep you in a lower vibrational state, and by keeping you in a lower vibrational state, it prevents you from becoming or reaching your truest potential. So let me ask you a question. This question is pretty deep. Have you reached your truest potential? Do you even know what you're capable of, or what is your potential? Maybe it's time to reflect and look within and see, hey, why am I here on earth? What is my purpose? Have I reached my truest potential? I'm getting tongue-tied here. Have I reached my truest potential? You guys are divine, and your potential is endless. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my life so it helps put things in perspective. When I was younger, I hung out with a lot of toxic people. I used to call these toxic people friends and family. I didn't know the effect they had on me because I wasn't consciously aware or awake back then. So when I was younger, before I started the path of enlightenment, I surrounded myself with people that didn't help me out in life or raise me up. They kind of kept me stagnant, and they always brought out some of them brought out the worst in me, or encouraged me to do drugs or alcohol, or encouraged me to steer away from the path of spirituality. Some of these friends, it's not just necessarily their fault. It's also my own fault because I chose this back then. But I chose to, I was very Christian. I was brought up in the church, and I believed in God, and I still believe in God. But when I was younger, I started straying from my path of the path of Christianity, and just on the path of negativity and just doing whatever a teenager or early 20-something youth would do. So so let's just get back. I rambled on a little bit. So when I started awakening spiritually and consciously, I started becoming aware that certain people that I allowed in my life were toxic for me. They encouraged me to do negative things, or think negative things, or do negative actions. Certain friends sabotaged my success. Do you have friends? Like, ask yourself that right now. This is serious. Do you have friends that sabotage you in your life? I'm going to repeat that. Do you have friends that sabotage you? That's an important question to ask. When you become awake and aware, you'll become aware of that certain people sabotage you in your life. So I had friends that would pretend to be my friend, but behind my back, they would talk crap or gossip all the time behind my back. If I had a crush or a certain person I liked, and I wanted to date them or go have a romantic fling with them, my friends, or these particular friends, these toxic friends, would sabotage my relationships before he even got started. I even had a family member that when I was around them, he would be nice, loving, and friendly with me. But when he was around other people or my other friends or other family, he would purposely talk negatively behind my back. That he would always say things that undermine me, and then he would say things that undermine me so that my other friends and family would think negatively about me. And the only reason I think he would do such a thing is because he noticed that all these people loved and respect me, and part of him didn't like subconsciously, a part of him did not like that all these people, when they meet me, loved and respected me, so that he would subconsciously or consciously, I don't know, would sabotage me and tell all these people the negative aspects about myself instead of saying, hey, this person's awesome. So he would constantly sabotage me with others. It's kind of sad. And I've had a lot of people in my life that backstabbed me and betrayed me, and it was tough, but it's also learning lessons. I learned from that, and now I choose not to allow any negativity or toxic people or toxic environments in my life. So what is a toxic person? In my opinion, yes, this is my opinion. A toxic person is someone in your life that is constantly bringing you negativity or holding you back in life. We surround ourselves with people that bring the positivity, but there's a scale there. Is this person 89% bringing you negativity and only 10% bringing you positivity? You're going to be conscious and aware of this. So it's constantly bringing you negativity and holding you back in life. Or is constantly encouraging you to think negative things or do negative actions. Is a toxic person it'd be like, hey, let's do drugs all the time. Instead of you going out and following your dreams and goals, they say, hey, let's go and smoke some weed and sit on a couch all day. They encourage you to be in your lower nature. So I'm going to break it down simplest as this. Here are a few signs of toxic people or toxic friends or toxic family members. So sign number one, gaslighting. When a person does some form of manipulative behavior towards you, they pretend they didn't do anything. They tend to do something negative, even though they did the negative action. They try to guilt you into thinking it's your fault. Say, have you ever had this before where someone did something and then you called them out on it and then they basically manipulated you thinking that, hey, it's your fault. You see this in relationships all the time where a particular partner or of that relationship cheated on you. Let's just say they cheated on you or they're flirting with others or whatever. And even though they did the negative action, they manipulated you into thinking it's your fault. That's sad. There's a lot of people who do that. They purposely manipulate. A true and honest person or honest friend does not manipulate at all. They just speak the truth. There's no need for manipulation. Sign number 2. They are the ultimate hypocrite. Yes. Oh, messed up the camera. I'll move it back a little bit. Sorry, guys. So the ultimate hypocrite, they talk a big game. They don't practice what they preach. You see this all the time, especially with, not trying to judge people, but with pastors or Christians, where they speak their Bible verses to you. They say, hey, you should believe in Jesus. You should do this. But then when nobody's looking, they do the opposite of what they say. They say one thing and do another. They're hypocrites. They constantly break your trust. They will cheat, lie, criticize, and manipulate. But when all is said and done, they expect you to be perfect. They expect you not to cheat, lie, manipulate. But when it comes to them, they could do that. They are hypocrites. Jesus, sorry, I got to drop some Christianity on you. I'm Christian based. Jesus was the way shower. If, I don't want to put judgment, so this is in my opinion. If you're a true Christian, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. You lead by example. I'm not going to, when I speak to you about Christianity and stuff, I actually think, believe, and perform those actions. When I talk about do not judge, I myself work on not judging others. Even if whatever they're doing goes against my beliefs completely. I try my best to be like, I accept them from them and I have no right to judge them. I try to do unto others. I want to try, so if someone's judging me, I would rather someone not judge me. So do unto others. Live by example. Practice what you preach. I try my best 99% of the time to practice what I preach. I fail, but we all fail. And I try my best to do my best. Now, I'm going to go back. I was rambling a little bit again and going on a tangent. But so I'm going to go to sign number 3, pathological lying or making excuses. Do you have somebody who's always constantly lying, just instantly to the point where you can't even tell the truth or if they're lying now because they're so good at it? Or they're constantly making excuses? Is there anyone in your life that always constantly lies to you? Or it makes up excuses? A toxic person is so basically, this person is always speaking mistruths. Or is manipulating the truth. So there's the truth, and then they take that story and they manipulate it in a way so it suits their needs. And then they're constantly blaming others. They're making excuses and blaming the other person or even you. They don't take credit for their own actions. It's your fault, your fault, your fault, and never their own fault. They don't shine a light on themselves, but they're always constantly shining a light on you and making up excuses. So, sign number 4. Toxic people focus on your mistakes and ignore their own. So if you ever made a mistake or did something wrong, they constantly guilt trip you about it, but they never bring up any of their mistakes. They act like they're holier than thou. They're saints. But they're constantly pointing out your failures, your mistakes. You did this 10 years ago. Oh, you did this a month ago, so that's why I did this. They're constantly bringing up your failures and mistakes and pointing it out at you, but yet they don't look at themselves. Sign number 5, selfishness. Selflessness. I'm horrible at pronouncing things. Selfishness. They tend to think only for themselves. They take, and don't give in return. They always want your attention, but the minute you don't give them attention, they get mad at you. So have you had people in your life that come to you and they're like, hey, I need this, or hey, I need a place to crash, or hey, spot me $5 or $10, or hey, I can't afford my bar tab tonight, can you pay it? And then a week later, they ask you for the same stuff over and over again. Or the amount of what you give to them is like 90% and they only get back 10%. A true friendship or a true like connection with a person, there should always be like an equal balance, even like, yes, like there's been times where in my life, I was poor and broke and I couldn't afford to pay my rent one time. And one of my family members paid my rent for me. And at that time, I couldn't pay them back. But later on in life, when I was able to, I got them back. And an equal friendship, they never equal a true honest friendship. They don't tally. They just trust, hey man, I'm giving to you out of my heart with no expectation. And then in return, they give back to you from their heart without expectation. But there are people out there that are really good at manipulating you. They could be your friend, but they know you so well that they could say or do something that can manipulate you so that you could just give to them. You see this a lot in romantic relationships where a certain particular, let's say the one partner is wealthy and is successful, and the other one is basically a bum, and it just leeches off the other. They live with each other. They don't pay rent. They don't cook. They don't clean. They don't pay for anything. And then they trick the other one by manipulating, hey, I'm giving you love or whatever. In a relationship, it should be equal balance of energy and power. It should never be draining. You should never be feeling like you're being drained all the time. So be aware of people that are selfish, and I'm not judging selfishness because sometimes it is okay to be selfish, to take time for yourself. But just be wary of people that are just taking from you. And so now I'm going on to sign number 6. Are you ready for this one? The erosion of boundaries. What? Erosion of boundaries? What are you talking about? So toxic people or toxic friends or toxic family are constantly pushing the boundaries. Like they're constantly crossing the line. Like when you say there's black and gray, they're always in that gray area and they're always just like pushing your button all the time. Let's say they know you, because they know you so well, they know that you don't like something about your weight. Let's just use that for example, that you got a problem with your weight. And they know by saying something or mentioning something about your weight, it upsets you. So they sneakily or in a way manipulate and say something about your weight in front of other people to crack a joke in front of, in just a sly way. And they're constantly, even when you say, like even in a relationship, they're eroding the boundaries where you're like, hey, this is my boundary, do not cross it. I do not like this, so don't do that. But yet a toxic person will go against everything you said. So when you set that boundary or expectation, they'll just go against it. Or they'll make up some excuse for, sabotaging that boundary. So basically the point of this sign is they erode your boundaries. They push your buttons and they're constantly crossing the line. Sign number 7, they sabotage you. It's very simple. They sabotage you. They talk behind your back. They do things that keep you in a lower, keeps your self-esteem low. They tend to do a lot of backstabbing. So let's say you work with this person and they're secretly going to you and said, "Hey, man, you're gonna get the promotion, you're gonna get a raise, blah blah blah," and then a week later they get the raise because secretly they've been talking to the bosses or other coworkers trying to sabotage you, and so they get the promotion. Then they come to you and like, "Oh, you should have had it. They made a mistake, but we're secretly behind your back they're plotting against you. They sabotage you." Sign number 8, they encourage you to do drugs and drink a lot, or they encourage you to do things that are not, to do things in your lower nature. So a true friend or someone that really cares about you so much that they're only going to encourage you to do things for your health or to benefit you. They're not going to try to bring you down or encourage you to be in your lower nature. If they truly care about you, they're going to try to raise you up and not bring you down. Sign number 9, they isolate you. They try to keep you to themselves. They try to keep you or separate you from friends and other friends and family. Meaning they try to cut you off from your friends and family that have a positive influence on you. Or they try to keep you away from the people in your life that could point out that, hey, this person's toxic for you. And so they'll try to keep you away from that person. And finally, sign number 10. They're energy vampires. Yep, that's right. Energy vampires do exist. And, it's not blood sucking, it's energy sucking or draining you of your energy. Do you feel constantly, when you're around this toxic person, are you feeling constantly drained? When you leave this person, do you just feel like just empty and drained of your energy? Or they feed off of you in some type of way by always taking your money or always having you give them rides somewhere, or just always just taking from you in some form of way. And there's different forms of energy vampirism out there. And if you're interested in energy vampirism, maybe I'll do an episode about that later. So does any of these signs speak to you? Is there anybody in your life that pops into your mind when hearing these signs? So when I spoke these 10 signs, did anybody pop into your mind? Maybe that's your way of saying, hey, I should reevaluate or reflect on this particular person because it resonated with these signs. The number one thing, though, that I see, so this is one of the number one things I've seen throughout my years of searching for wisdom and knowledge and just interacting with people in general. I see a lot of toxic romantic relationships. But I don't say nothing because it's not my place to judge or say, hey, I see this person doing this to you, and you don't even have a clue how badly they're manipulating you and using you. But you got, as a path of awakening and enlightenment, you got to learn to let people learn from their mistakes. Or I don't just tell people what I think. If they come to me and ask and honestly and genuinely want to know, then I will. And if my spirit tells me to tell them, I will. But most often than not, I say nothing because it's not my job to interfere with their free will. But often I see a lot of toxic romantic relationships. I see a couple, let's say so this is the general example. I see a couple in a relationship, and one of the persons in the relationship doesn't see how toxic the other person or how toxic their partner is. They don't see that their partner is just bringing them down or just draining them of their potential. So often in these toxic relationships, like I stated earlier, I see them manipulating and using that person. They don't even necessarily love or care for this person. It's just an object of their desire or just a notch on their belt, and they're using and manipulating them for certain things, or just sometimes it's just to not be lonely for that particular time until they find someone next. That they're just using and manipulating them and using them as a placeholder until they find something better or move on to the next victim. So my goal is with this is everybody should question the people in their lives, especially the ones that they're in a romantic relationship with. If you're in a romantic relationship, does your partner uplift you, make you feel whole, complete, perfect? Does he take, or she, does she take from you? Does he or she drain you from your energy? Do they keep you or isolate you from your friends and family? Or, do they manipulate you in some form of way? Do they use you? Do you feel used or manipulated in any way? Do they surround you with positivity and upliftment? Or do they just say negative things about you or constantly lower your self-esteem? It's hard because I'm not a relationship coach, but I just want to make that point out so that someone, if you're in a romantic relationship, question it. How do you truly feel? If you have fear and doubt and you're constantly on the edge of breaking up and like, I should break up with them, or there's something off, but I continue to stay with them, trust your intuition, be in tune with yourself and let it guide you, and learn to, sometimes you got to cut that toxic relationship out of your life. If you want the ultimate love, the ultimate partner in life, sometimes you got to cut the toxic relationship or partner out of your life to attract into the perfect partner. So that's enough of my rambling about toxic relationships. It's time for you, or it's time for us to wake up. It's time to reevaluate and look at our lives with a different lens or a different perspective. If you're seeking a better you, yes. Are you seeking? Yes. Yes. Are you seeking a better you? Are you seeking enlightenment? Are you seeking or looking for more positivity in your life or a more fulfilled life? Do you want to become a better version of yourself? Do you want to unlock your truest potential? Then I suggest, this is my suggestion, start removing all the toxic things out of your life. This means removing toxic people. It is time, yes, it is time to reclaim your power. You have the power of choice. Let me repeat that. You have the power of choice. You can choose to allow certain people into your life. You can choose not to see or hang out with certain people. Yes, you can choose, hey, that person's toxic for me, so I choose not to surround myself with them or hang out with them. I choose to cut them out of my life because that's a choice. You could choose who you hang out with. You could also choose not to hang out in certain places. If you know that you hanging out in that bar triggers a negative reaction in you, then don't go to that bar. Choose to hang out with people or places that are positive, that benefit you or uplift you, to bring out the best in you and not bring you into your lower nature. At the end of the day, yes, at the end of the day, it all boils down to you and the choices you make. Because even though there are toxic people and toxic places, in some form or way, you chose that. You chose to allow that toxic person into your life, or toxic people in general. Your choice, you chose to allow them into your life. You chose to hang out in that bad environment. You chose to allow the addictions to take over your life. Maybe that addiction be overeating. Maybe that addiction is some type of drug that just consumes you. There's an addiction of over shopping. You chose that. But your power, your ultimate superpower, is your power of choice. Choose again. So I'll share another story from my life. I used to drink and party a lot. I used to hang out with people that would encourage me to do things that weren't always positive. Do you believe it? I'm super positive now, but back in the day, I did some negative things, or at least in my belief systems were negative. Before I was awake and aware, I wasn't very successful. I was constantly broke. My life seemed to be going nowhere. Does your life seem to be going nowhere? At the time, back in the day, my life seemed to be going nowhere. My life seemed to have no purpose. My life seemed to have no meaning. But this is where it changes for the positive, guys. The minute I changed my life and started growing spiritually and consciously, the minute I chose to remove all the toxic people out of my life, the minute I chose to stop hanging out in toxic environments, my life started to change for the better. It's all about what you choose. So my life now is I choose health and positivity almost every day. I choose not to drink or do drugs. Back in the day, for some reason, I chose drinking or drugs or going out to the bar and partying. And that's all okay in moderation. But when it starts consuming your life and keeping you from reaching your truest potential, then maybe it's time to reevaluate and say, hey, this is holding me back. Is there any action, negative action, or addiction, or a toxic person, or toxic environment that is holding you back in your life? Ask yourself, can I achieve better? Can you achieve better? Have I reached my truest potential? When you change your thinking and change your environment and change the people you surround yourself, or replace addictions, so because there's even spirituality or enlightenment can be a form of addiction. When it's all as a balance. So basically for my life is when I started making changes and cutting out all the toxic things in my life started to change. That's what I wanted to get to. I cut all the people, or the toxic people and toxic things that would bring me down out of my life. And I started choosing all the positivity things, or positive people. And then I discovered I found purpose to my life. I found meaning to my life. I became successful. I became wealthy. I started fulfilling my dreams and goals. Are you fulfilling your dreams and goals? Seriously, ask yourself that. What dreams have you not fulfilled? What goals have you not fulfilled? Or have you fulfilled them? I encourage you all, if you're watching this video, follow your dreams and goals. Follow your passion. What makes you feel alive? What makes you happy? What makes you joyful? Follow that. It makes me happy making content or positive videos like this. It's my passion. It's my purpose to help share wisdom and knowledge with people. So in a way, when I'm making this video right now, I'm following my dreams and goals. You will be amazed what you can do in your life when you remove all the weight. Yes, you'll be amazed what you can do with your life when you remove all the weight, aka toxic people or toxic substances or toxic environments. Once you remove all that that's holding you back, when you remove that weight, you get lighter. So you move up towards enlightenment. So in a few of my previous videos, I mentioned you attract to you the people in your life. Yes, in some shape or form, through your thoughts and actions, you attract the people into your life. If you constantly are hanging around negative and toxic people, then you attract more negative and toxic people. But if you choose to hang out with positive and loving, kind, compassionate people, you'll attract more of the same to you. One of the reasons why my life changed, or why I became successful, why I became more wealthy, why my life miracles seem to happen over and over every day. Still to this day, miracles seem to happen to me all the time. And just awesomeness happens. It's because I changed my thinking. I chose a different thought or action. I chose to take a different path, so to speak, in life. And I chose the positivity and positive people. And I chose to cut all that toxic people, places, things out of my life. And sometimes I fumble. Sometimes I make mistakes. We're all human. But I chose to embrace my superpower. So I'll repeat this. Your superpower is this: the power of choice. What do you choose? What do you choose? Yes, I'm talking to you. So, my friends, I hope you found this episode helpful. And if you liked it and if it resonated with you, please share with others. If you could help one person change their life and become a better version of themselves, why not? So, I hope you found this helpful. I thank you and God bless you. And like I said before, like and subscribe. And also, if you if you want to donate to help me out on my path to making more content like this, you could donate by using Cash App. My Cash App tag is Aslan Speaks. Or if you want to if you like this YouTube channel, I also have an Instagram channel, and my Instagram channel is, my Instagram is Aslan_speaks. And I'll put all that up in the video. Thank you guys. I wish you the best. God bless you. And once again, your superpower is you have the power of choice. What do you choose? What do you choose? Do you choose happiness, joy, or do you choose pain, suffering, misery? Do you choose to empower yourself, or do you choose to disempower yourself? Do you choose negativity, or do you choose positivity? Do you choose to do actions that will bring you wealth, abundance, and prosperity? Or do you choose to do actions that will bring you lack, limitation? It's all about your choice. You could choose a positive, loving relationship, or you could choose to be in a toxic relationship. It's all the matter of choice. Sorry, guys. I've been rambling. Thank you. God bless. Like and subscribe.